The Center for Innovative Technology and Mach 37, Virginia's Cyber Accelerator, present Uniting Women in Cyber: Leadership, Innovation, Inclusion.
I am the CISO for CSRA, and I have to tell you I had some interesting conversations prior to talking to you all today and trying to decide what I wanted to talk about, what the message was that I wanted to get across. And in speaking to my friends, my peers, my colleagues, I have to tell you there's still some very, very interesting and different opinions about women in cybersecurity. But I want to tell you about why cybersecurity is so exciting for those of you who are not yet in the field or looking to get into the field. So I was doing some research on some things. I read articles about women in cyber. I will tell you that I personally have not had a bad experience in this field. And I don't know if I am fortunate, if you will, or if that's just the way the cards had it. And that is my message to all of you, is to just do it. And it's an amazing field. And so when I read this quote, the graphic, the quote, it's by Kaspersky Labs, 78% of young women rule out a career in cybersecurity. And I was literally by myself in my office at home and out loud to absolutely nobody. I said, why? Why would they not want to go into this amazing field? And so I think for me, I started out my career as an ethical hacker, which I think is about the coolest thing ever. And so maybe I'm biased. Maybe that's how I got so excited about this. But in all fairness, that is not really how I started my career. That was my career in cyber. My career started as a financial auditor for a Big Six accounting firm, and I then became a CPA, certified public accountant. I was really proud of my role, of what I did, who I worked for. I was there at a neat time with all the .coms and taking companies public, got to do the IPOs. And I don't remember saying it was fun, though. It was definitely a lot of work. And how did I get here? Folks always ask me, I don't know, I like computers, but how did I really get here? And I remember having a conversation with the partner in the cyber group about trying a role in security. And next thing I know, I had what we called an externship, like a 1-week deal where Ernst & Young was really great about putting me with a whole bunch of different people and groups in cyber in the practice. And it just so happened that that week was when all of the senior managers and partners from forensics were there having this really big meeting. They brought me along with them. They took me to a customer, and it was just the neatest stuff. And I went back to cyber, or actually I went back to accounting because I had just gotten promoted and was there for another year. Next thing I know, I'm back in cybersecurity, transferred over and never looked back. Again, how did I get there? I don't know. I don't know if it goes back to maybe middle school for those of you that remember basic programming. And I'm probably going to severely mess this up for those of you who are coders, but 10 go to 20, 20 print Amy, 30 go to 10, and the coolest thing ever, Amy would just print out on my dot matrix printer. And I just thought that was really cool. So again, I don't know, maybe that's why I'm here. But there's not a very specific, there's not a path that you have to take to get to cyber. And it was just mentioned, Arlette mentioned it just a few minutes ago, which really set up nicely. This is just a bunch of words that I put down that really represents my team, generally speaking right now. And there are so many things that you can do in cyber. You can do policy, you can be in a SOC, and you really can look at screens. You can do scanning, you can do... But the people who are looking at screens are then fixing things and talking to people and, re-imaging machines, well, they're not re-imaging machines, but making recommendations to get things off of our network. So everything comes down to risk. And regardless of the role you have to make those decisions about how much risk is this bringing to my enterprise. So there's not a path. You don't have to start at the bottom and work your way up, or at the top and work your way down. You can stay in one field. As an ethical hacker, I actually, I could have stayed there forever, but it happened to be in a location in the country that I chose not to move to. But the neatest thing ever was getting paid by some pretty awesome companies to break into their systems and it be okay, and tell them what's wrong with it and how can they fix it and what are they doing right. And so whether you want to stay there forever or whether you want to go into policy and set the foundation for your company or do training and awareness so that all of the policies and processes that you've set are not ruined because folks are not trained to understand how to follow those processes. You can do scanning, you can do analysis, you can figure out, where are my vulnerabilities? What are the risks that I need to prioritize? You can look at malware, you can analyze it, you can do forensics and find out for these things that are happening that are bad on my network. Why? Where did they come from? What happened? And so you can take all of that and put it together. You can do certification and accreditation, which is now assessment and authorization. Look at your tools, look at your controls, look at your processes, look at your technical standards. So I think that for me, I was an accounting major, and I've done this. So there's not a set path that you have to take, but I do want to say that one thing that I've realized in my career and starting off in accounting, that was really amazing for me, getting a sense of the business and what the business needs were. As I was doing financial audit, trying to determine all the important things from an audit perspective really helped to set the mindset from a cyber perspective of where are the crown jewels of this company, what are the things that most need to be protected, what kind of intellectual property is there. And so I think the more areas of these boxes that you can explore personally, I think the more well-rounded you can be so that you can have conversations across the board, across your team, and across the business. So when you've had that background in scanning or hacking or engineering and administration, you have a different sense of understanding when you're talking to operations and looking at your servers and your workstations than you do maybe if you've just had the policy background and vice versa. But it's up to you. What makes you happy? Where's your passion? And I think you should pursue that. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. Just do it. If you don't have the knowledge and experience, there's tons of webinars and courses and books and groups that you can go to get this knowledge. So as I was looking through, I found this T-shirt that I'll read to you since it's in different fonts, and it's talking about a cybersecurity specialist, only because full-time multitasking ninja is not an actual job title. So it cracked me up as well, but I have to tell you it's the God's honest truth. And if you are fearful of being a multitasking ninja, it's not that this field is not for you, because you can stick to just doing your looking at your screens, looking at traffic, looking at packets, doing scans, doing policy. But you can also do the whole thing because cyber touches so many different areas. Sometimes we wonder in my organization, is this a privacy thing? Is this a legal thing? Is this human resources? Is it operations? Really, where does this belong? But cyber can touch all of that because we're either protecting it or telling them how to protect it. So really, no matter which area you pick, you can make a difference. And I really challenge all of you to think about that and think where you can make a difference for your organization because, again, no matter which box you take, they're all important and they're all going to set that foundation, whether it's for the employees, the company, individuals in their personal lives, it's going to make a difference. Thank you very much.